everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience, and I am Patience. And in today's video, we are talking about 10 creative ways to save money. A big part of this channel is all things finances. And so we're just gonna get straight into it because we're going through a difficult time in this world. We're all looking for ways to save money. So if you like this topic and more to come, remember to subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. Let's get straight into this video. 10 creative ways to save money in these tough times. One of the ways to do so is to negotiate your bills. There are several ways that you can negotiate your bills, even in the United States of America. That could include your insurances or your electric company. Sometimes if they don't want to do it, you can always switch to another one, but never take no for an answer. Of course, there are things like rent that you may not be able to negotiate all the time, or like your mortgage, but you can always talk to them. You can always try. There is no harm in trying. The worst thing they can say is absolutely not. But there are other things that you can negotiate. Big purchase, even like a car, negotiating in car purchase is huge. So make sure that you try that. Same with houses. You can negotiate. If you hire a real estate agent, you can always negotiate on your behalf to make sure that you stick to your budget. So no matter if it's a big purchase or a small purchase, if you can negotiate your bills, say something. The worst thing you can do is just not say anything at all and leave money on the table. Again, the worst thing they can say is no. Next thing is to DIY projects. And I'm talking all kinds of projects. It could be home repair if you own the place. A good thing about living in an apartment is that you don't have to do that. The landlord's job to do that. But even if you need to do other things that you would typically like outsource, try to do it yourself. And I mean, it could be something as simple as doing your hair. That's something I take full ownership of. Last year I went to the salon once. This year I've not been at all. I may go like later in the year because it is expensive to do your hair. And every time I go, I get upcharged for length and for thickness. So I must as well just do it myself. And so even if it's doing your own manicures and pedicures, if it's giving yourself your own facial, I don't know about massages, but if there are different ways that you can just DIY things yourself, try it. It could be something beautiful like a picture, being creative in different ways. You might be surprised with what you come up with. So always try to DIY things yourself. You just do it yourself before you outsource. Even if you do own a house and it's like mowing the lawn, do that and save that $40, $50 every week or 2 weeks that you pay people. No matter what, there's always a different options for the most part. And so you can try it first, and if it doesn't work, you can always go back to give your money to somebody else, but at least try it first. The next thing is to shop secondhand. Now, I am slightly germophobic, so it's really hard for me to do, but even I've shopped at a thrift store before. And if you are moving, whether it is buying some new appliances, especially if you're on a really tight budget, and you need to buy like a new couch or like a dresser, maybe it's a table, a coffee table, you can always shop secondhand on a lot of those things. And your clothes. Now, if you don't need to buy something, always opt out to not buy rather than buy if you don't need it. But if you do need it, explore secondhand. The thrift stores are full of a lot of things. I do know that sometimes though, at least recently, I would say the last like 3, 4, 5 years, the thrifts have been getting like super expensive. You may want to explore some new options and then take the thrift store, because sometimes like the prices are not that much different. So I'd just rather buy new than spend a lot of money on a thrift store item that I could just buy for the same price as new. But something I used to do a lot was buy my books secondhand. So I used to go through books. There was a time in middle school and high school and even a big part of college where I used to read so much YA books. And I used to go through like minimum 20 books, but often like 30, 40 books per year, and like the thick books. And so I got a lot of books from the thrift store. They used to be like $1 versus buying them at a bookstore brand new for $10, $20 if it was like hardcover. So explore that as well. The next thing is to meal plan. I always talk about eating at home, making sure that you go grocery shopping, and meal planning. Meal planning is so important. A lot of time people eat out a lot because they don't plan. They're like, oh, I have nothing to eat. And instead of going to the refrigerator and cooking something, they just find it easier to order food or go to the restaurants. And ordering food is so expensive because not only are you paying the restaurant price, but then you're also paying for the delivery and then the tipping. You should always tip. But the point is that you could have just cooked it at home for a fraction of the price. So I always opt to cook at home versus eating out. And I just like cooking at home better and eating at home because I know what's in my food, better control over my diet. So making sure that you at least try that for the majority of the time. It's okay okay to eat out once in a while. Stick to a strict budget. It's hard to stick to a strict grocery and food budget when you're eating out all the time. But if you're able to go to the grocery store, come home, meal plan, and I have a whole video on like food calendars. So if you're able to do that, it saves you money because you have food at home, you know when you're cooking it, you know what you're gonna eat at different times of the month. It just makes it so much easier to stick to your food budget and to cut out unnecessary eating out of your budget. Again, you can do it once in a while, but all the time it's a no. The next thing is cutting down on subscriptions. Gone are the days where you can have like several subscriptions. Please don't do that. Go through your credit card statements, your bank statements, and look at all your subscriptions. There are people who pay for subscriptions and they don't even know they're paying for it. So sit down. I know it could be difficult to do, it may seem tasking, but you know what's worse? Paying for subscriptions that you don't even use. If you have like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO, and all these ones, cut it out. Cut it down to like one. I have the Netflix and I have Netflix with ads. When I had Hulu, I did not have Netflix. I said stick to Hulu. So if I want to switch to another one, I would just cancel the one that I have and move on. So make sure that you are being strategic with your subscriptions, because sometimes if you have like 4 or 5 different streaming services, how many different things are you watching on there all the time? There could be one that, okay, you watch predominantly, well, cancel the rest. And if you miss it, then go to the other one. Cancel, move on. It doesn't mean you can't have an account on all of them, but maybe they shouldn't be all active at the exact same time. This could also include other subscriptions that you're paying for, whether it's like beauty products, it could be for some toiletries or anything. Find a better way to get the things that you need and the entertainment that you need at a fraction of the price. You don't need a subscription for everything, all these monthly payments. Don't do it. I have very few subscriptions and I always have to ask myself, is this beneficial? And if it's not, I cut out my life. So I have very few subscriptions that I maintain, and they're all beneficial to the quality of life that I have, and some of them are just like needs. Make sure to examine your subscriptions and only keep what you need. Next is to do free activities. Free activities are very underrated, and I will say this with my whole chest. When you are trying to get out of a financially difficult situation, it is not time to pick up expensive hobbies. It is not time to start doing expensive activities that overpriced, going on expensive vacations and picking up these habits that are costing you $50 per activity. Don't do that. It is time to buckle down. Go to the park, take a walk, pack your food and go to a picnic. Especially if you're in debt that you need to get out of, do free activities. Don't spend so much money picking up all these expensive activities just to look nice on the gram. You can do that later when you are out of debt, be able to budget better and set a specific budget for having fun. It is time to buckle down, cut out these expensive hobbies out of your life and go for the free activities. The best thing about these activities is that they are free. They cost $0.00. The next thing is to use public transportation or to walk if you have the option. Now, I do know that there are some cities where you can't really do that. Texas is one of those states that the public transportation basically sucks. If you live in downtown Dallas, it might be slightly better. When I used to live in Maryland, DC area, like it was fantastic public transportation. And for the 4 years that I was in college, I did not drive. I did not live on campus. I took public transportation. Was it the absolute best? No. There was a time I was taking 3 buses to school. Not fun at all. It used to take me almost 2 hours to get to school. It was worth it in the end for the cost that I was spending on it. So sometimes there might be an easier way to do something. It may not be the most costly way. If you live close to, say, your job and you can afford to just walk there or take public transportation rather than buying a car, paying for the car payments and the insurance and the gas and maintenance, and in a season of your life where you would better spend that money elsewhere, like paying off debt, saving for an emergency fund, saving for a house, something else, you can always opt into public transportation or just walking there. It's for a time period and nothing's forever, or at least we don't hope it's forever. So just make a plan. For the entirety of last year, I did not have a car, and I was lucky enough because I worked from home sometimes and then a few days in the job. I took my time and I made sure that when I finally got a car, it was a good car that I could afford. It became a blessing into my life rather than rushing into a car just because. It did limit where I could go, activities that I could do, but I knew it wasn't forever. It was just for a period of time, and that worked for me. The ninth thing is to exercise at home or at a park. Gyms are not the most expensive things in the world, of course, but sometimes you're in a financial situation where every dollar counts. If you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're paying $50 a month for a gym, you might just need to cut that out and work it at home. When I used to live in my old apartment, we did not have a full-on gym. It's called a fitness center. You know, if it's called a fitness center, it's not a gym. And I used to do a lot of my exercises in my apartment. Luckily, it was carpet. So is it a gym? No, I know some people say they need a gym to get motivated, but sometimes you just have to motivate yourself. When every dollar counts and you need margin, something like a gym is where you can cut from, along with subscriptions and all these extra wants, just to make that margin that you need. And again, it's not forever, it's for a time period. Go to the park, you know, exercise there, run, do free exercises. They are available to you. Do at-home workouts. I still do the Chloe Ting workouts. I do MathFit, yoga with Asia, yoga with Bird, Bowflex Fitness Advisor. Like, I do all these different exercises that are free, and I did that for a very long time. I didn't in fact start going to the gym till a couple of months ago. I'd never been to a gym in my life before, but I still exercised at home. So this whole idea that you can't be fit if you don't go to the gym is not true. I always stayed fit, and for years I worked out at home. If you especially go to an expensive gym that costs over $100 a month, or like an Equinox, which is over $300 a month, you can cut it out. If you need margin, you can work out at home. But if you go to an expensive gym like Equinox, honestly, just like downgrading to a cheaper $10 gym will probably do the trick. But if every margin counts and you're living paycheck to paycheck, just cut it out and work out at home. Either works. And the last but absolutely not the least is to always do reflection upon where you're going, what your lifestyle looks like. One of the things that a lot of people don't look at when they are trying to change things and trying to find creative ways to save money is to look at what their lifestyle looks like. Hindsight is 2020. It is time that we always look back, reflect on our lives, and figure out what we could have done better, so that in the future we actually do better. Of course, unlike the other ones, it's not like a specific step that will save you immediate money. But it's not always about the immediate now, it's about the future. You don't want to repeat the mistakes that you made because you didn't reflect upon it. Insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over and expecting a different result. If you want to make a change, it's always good to look back at your life and think, what could I have done better? And it's not living in regrets, it's not living in the past, but the past happened. Learn from it. Learn from other people's experiences, reflect on the world around you, and take the lessons that you can. A lot of times, you don't have to make the exact same mistakes everybody do just to learn. You can learn from other people's mistakes. So reflect, think beyond yourself, and find the ways that I can't even give you, because you know your life better than anybody else would. You know the key to being financially successful. So reflect to your life, make the changes that you need to make, and you would be able to find creative ways to save money in your best way possible. So with that, I am bringing this video to an end. Thank you so much. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell because I post 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. And share this video with whoever you think is going to be helpful to. I want to read your comments, so let me know what are some creative ways that you have saved money in the past or currently doing, because it's always interesting to learn and be like, oh my god, like that's actually a good idea, I should implement this. But thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.